It's not about just feeling positive emotions. It's about allowing all of it. And I think that is what my galactic guides have been sharing with me recently is the Earth is the only place where we feel emotions. There's no other planet. And like, what a gift that we get to feel emotions. And I think that it's just when we go through these times of really painful emotions, we think that in suppressing them and repressing them, that's how we've been taught. That's how we've been taught. That's why we have such a profitable system that has been built. That's why we have such a profitable system because it feeds off of people's perceived insecurities, their perceived perception that they're broken. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back. I have such a good channel message in store for you all today. We are going to be talking all about emotions, and this is one of those messages that I received, and it is like, it really expanded things for me to receive it. I did not ask them about emotions, but this is what they said needed to be shared. And I think that, a lot of energy and emotions are being stirred up. They have been collectively for the past few years, pretty intensely. I think we could all agree with that. And really, I think that this message is such a beautiful way of a new perspective to look at our emotions and from a more objective place, because our emotions are very real. But what we're going to get into in the message is that there's a difference between fully feeling and being with our emotions versus entangling and creating stories and letting them run our lives. So when we fully feel the feelings and emotions, it's like they have the energy and space to move through us. But so often we're pushing them away that we then create and entangle stories, and then they can last for so long. So I think that this is something that you're probably aware of by now, but my hope is that the way that that it will be shared will really spark something different. Because here's the thing, it's like we already know everything, but sometimes it needs to be said a different way, through a different vibration, a different frequency, in a new time, in a new place, for it to really like click on that different level. That's what happens to me all of the time. I can hear the same message a million times, and then one day I'm finally ready for it. It can be said from someone different or from the same person. All of a sudden, it just clicks, right? And so for me, this definitely was one of those messages where, oh, it was like another layer really solidified into place for me. I do think that it is important to preface that this is from my galactic guides. So take that energy into consideration as you are listening to this. They have been in the forefront for me recently. So yeah, let's dive into the message. My little disclaimer, as with all channeled information, take what resonates, whatever doesn't, totally fine. There are layers to it, and yes, it is the words and the message, but it is also about the frequency and the vibration that is transmitted. I am simply, I'm going to be reading back to you the message, but it is always your discernment. And I would invite you to just allow to set the intention that this serve your highest and greatest good, and that you receive whatever message your soul came here to receive. So with that, let's dive in. We remember. We remember our time on Earth, which you will too. But for now, the phase of remembering can be quite clumsy and awkward in human form. From our perspective, it is just neutral, a game being played. But in the human suit you wear, you feel. You feel emotions that are simply not recognizable in other dimensions of consciousness. That is what makes the game so interesting. Emotions. You can choose which emotions to attach to, which ones to validate, and you can begin to disentangle the learned emotional responses from the matrix, society, and the imprinting you have received. Who's to say you need emotions? Well, that is what makes being in the human body enjoyable. To know that you have the capacity to feel laughter, joy, pleasure, anger, sadness, grief, all within a matter of one moment to the next. Is this not miraculous? The body vessel is a portal for which all this is possible. Many numb and dumb the body vessel, for the emotions they have felt are too overwhelming at times. We understand this. And also, we encourage you to seek why. Why was it too painful? For there is no emotion you cannot handle. And often, the fear of emotions is far less painful than the emotion itself. Can you trust this? That you need not know why you feel sad. Just allow it. For the allowing signals to the body that it is not wrong. You have learned that certain emotions are good or bad or right or wrong. They are not. However, you may learn throughout this game of life which ones you choose to give your power to, which ones to validate, and which ones you choose to entangle with. There is a fine line between feeling and entangling. Feeling is the process of swiftly allowing energy to be felt as it passes through the body vessel, thus transmuting and alchemizing it. Entangling is the process of expanding the emotion into an unrecognizable form, creating a story and a scenario to validate and fulfill a need. Humans are great at entangling, as it pairs well with others who are in the matrix. It is a common way of relating to one another. Once you decide not to entangle, you will have far less people to relate to. This is why so many feel lonely as they become more spiritual and in the beginning phases of this journey. For now, they see past the programming and hypnosis, and they are now ready to call forth beings of a new caliber. Those who allow the fullness of feelings and allow them to gently, swiftly, and easily pass through. When one no longer entangles, they no longer feed the matrix and the disillusion that you are broken in need of fixing, for you are not. In fact, to feel emotions means you are healthy. You are embracing your human and all that it is. Fear not emotions. Instead, become aware of entanglement and the stories you create in validation of the entanglement. All emotions are worthy of validation in the human experience, but none are worth a life of suffering. Contrary to what you are told, you are designed to feel and heal, heal and feel, swiftly and efficiently. Thus, when bodily issues arise, it is simply a result of not allowing this process to alchemize in the body, resisting the flow of nature. Fully feel and fully heal. You are not broken. You are not wrong. You are simply a human remembering the game you signed up to play. So I just invite you to breathe that in. I felt that transmission as I was reading it again. Wow, there's so much here. There's so much here. I want to touch on a few things. One of the things that I have seen in my own journey and in my own life and friends' lives and clients' lives is that when we begin to break free from this paradigm, from the matrix, it is, you will not be relating to others in the same way. You will not have it's like the negative way of the negative undertone of relation in our society. It's how we create connections. It's how, not how we, it's like the programming and fabric of society to bond over negativity. Okay, so to actually be positive is like breaking free. And here's the thing, it doesn't mean that you're going to be positive all the time and have like positivity all of the time. But what it means is that if you can just allow yourself to feel, and here's the thing, like they said, you don't even need to know why. It doesn't matter why. Just feel it. Just allow it. Because it's the fear of the emotion, like trying to push it away, that is like suppressing it and holding it in the body. So feel it, be authentic, feel your emotions, and allowing this space and time of like potentially being lonely as you are raising the caliber of people that you now relate to. You know, I noticed this just the other day. Just the other day. I was totally, I was having a day. I was having a day. And I went to the grocery store and I absolutely love to bring joy and to talk to whoever is checking me out at the grocery store. And I noticed it's like 50-50 where I shop, that they're either in a good mood or a bad mood. And it doesn't matter what it is. I want to talk to them and I want to hear about their day and I want to be like I want to be something that uplifts their day and be not anything that would make them go home and be like, oh man, work was really awful today or whatever, right? So anyways, I always try and just bring joy to these people. And the other day I was like kind of in a mood and I just like felt this heaviness in the store and whoever was checking me out. And I said something and I don't even remember what I said. Something that was like totally, they were having a bad day and I just said something that was like meeting them at their bad day. Like, oh, like of course, like I get it. I understand. Like it just is that way sometimes, right? Or something like that. And after I walked out, I was like, whoa, that was so out of character. That was not my intention. Why did I say that? And I realized that I didn't act from a conscious space when I said that. And I totally was like bought into the hypnosis because here's the thing, it's like the current underpinnings of our society is this hypnosis of like not feeling too good and like things are not working out for us. It's a programming. It's a programming. And if we just actually like allow, if we're not feeling good, just allow it, then what they're saying is like we will alchemize these emotions. But that it is common to feel lonely for a time when you're not relating to people in this negative way, when you're not bonding over trauma anymore. Like I get it. I went through a phase of my life where I was like, oh my gosh, like these people, they just talk about all of the problems in their life. And I don't want to be a part of that anymore. But as I set a new standard for my life, then all of a sudden the people came to match that. So now, and here's the thing, I'm not saying like we don't have hold space for the authenticity and the negative emotions. It doesn't mean that. What it does mean though is that I don't just sit around with my friends and talk about how awful the world is and how we're a victim to it all, because we're not. We're not. We have the opportunity to create our reality. And one of the best ways to create our reality is to just allow ourselves to feel any negative emotions or what we deem as negative emotions as we allow them to be healed and alchemized in the body. And thus, we begin to create space for the positive emotions. It's not about just feeling positive emotions. It's about allowing all of it. And I think that that is what my galactic guides have been sharing with me recently is the Earth is the only place where we feel emotions. There's no other planet. And like, what a gift that we get to feel emotions. And I think that it's just when we go through these times of really painful emotions, we think that in suppressing them and repressing them, that's how we've been taught. That's how we've been taught. That's why we have such a profitable system that has been built. That's why we have such a profitable system, because it feeds off of people's perceived insecurities, their perceived perception that they're broken. And you're not broken. You're not broken. Everything is, so many things are being sold to you to try and tell you that you're broken and something that needs to be fixed, and you're not. You just have some emotions that you need to feel. And everything that you allow the time and space to be seen and witnessed, it's like your body then knows what to do with it. And you can then create space for those positive emotions. There was something else. Okay. So the many, numb, and dumb, the vessel. So this is also just like a program that's been run throughout our society, is that you're not capable of feeling the emotions. And so we have so many substances and behaviors and things that have been created, or that are available rather, so that we don't have to feel emotions, because we've been taught that they're like too intense and that they're bad, and that like lower emotions are bad. They're not bad. They're not bad. And my belief is that actually feeling these lower emotions give us more capacity to feel the higher emotions. And what I believe begins to happen though, when we stop numbing and dumbing our body vessel, we can then signal to it that it's okay. It's safe. It's safe to feel. Like, what in your life have you deemed that you aren't, that would be too scary and too painful to feel? Because it's more often than not the fear and the anticipation of what it will be like to feel it is far more detrimental to our health and well-being than just allowing ourselves to go in and be with it. You were given this body vessel to experience the fullness of life, not to let some emotion at some time or some fear of some emotion hold you back and prevent you from the fullness of this human experience. There's so much available for us. And I don't believe that many of us, myself included, are experiencing like really the vast potentials of what is available. And like they said, there's a fine line between feeling and entangling. Feeling is perfectly normal. It's natural. It's welcomed. Entangling is when we go on to like the imagery that I got is like feeling, it's just like just moves right through. And entangling, it's like I saw the whatever event, circumstance, situation, it's like it comes in and all of a sudden it's like parts of us come and wrap around it, giving it life and expanding it. So now it's like we're literally blind. We're blinded to it because what was just this occurrence or happening or trauma is now like so large that we can't even see how or what to get past it. And then we continue to create further traumas, further emotions, further stories to validate that. And it just becomes larger than we know what to do with. And so that's why I so recommend working with someone. Like, if you don't even know, like, where do I start? Where do I start to feel these? Like, I don't even know what emotions I'm repressing or what I need to feel. Like, so many are so numbed. And that's why, for anyone who is in that circumstance, like, I would so recommend for you to reach out to someone, whether it is hypnotherapy or energy work or tapping or somatic work, like something that allows you to get in touch with these deeper layers so that you can release them and feel them. Feeling is the healing. Feeling is the healing. Okay, my friends, I believe that is the perfect note to end on. Feel to heal, heal to feel. Healing is the feeling. Feeling is the healing. Yes. And so with that, if you enjoyed this, please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know you're listening as well on Instagram at I am Jasmine Elise. And until next time, I'm sending you all infinite love and light.